title and his 30th professional bout. The two fighters are ready for action, with referee Stanley Christodoulou referee for 5 world title bouts this year.
We present a 15 3-minute round contest for the World Featherweight Boxing Championship under the auspices of the World Boxing Association. The holder of the title, fighting out of the red corner and defending his championship for the 4th time, weighing in at 9 stone or 126 pounds, right on the featherweight limit, would you welcome from Panama, Eusebio Pedroza. His opponent is undefeated in his professional career. Number 8 ranked featherweight in the world, current holder of the Commonwealth Junior Lightweight title. Also right on the featherweight limit of 9 stone, from Port Moresby, Johnny Abba. This contest is under the control of international judges Steve Lewis from England, Humberto Figueroa from Panama, and your referee is Mr. Stanley Christodoulou. Well, everything in readiness for the commencement of round 1, the World Featherweight Boxing Contest between Johnny Abba of New Guinea and Eusebio Pedroza. Abba in the black trunks with yellow piping and band, Pedroza in red trunks with red, white and blue socks, which look something like Footscray Football Club socks. 15 3-minute rounds is the journey. Pedroza, a very upright fighter. Looks as if he'd have a very, very quick pair of hands. I must confess, we weren't here in time to see him train for the fight. Neither of them landed an effective blow as yet. A very important fight for Pedroza, of course, defending his title for the 5th time. And Johnny Abba, well, he's got the world at his feet tonight. He's got everything to gain and nothing to lose. Neither of them has landed an effective punch at all. An attempted right cross over Abba's left lead by Pedroza didn't do any damage. No doubt the first time Abba lands a heavy punch, the crowd will warm to him very, very quickly and very vocally. Pedroza on the back move at the moment, waiting for Abba to come to him. Very experienced fighter, Pedroza. Try to left to Abba's body. Now, both weighed in at 126 pounds or 9 stone, right on the featherweight limit. The weigh-in was at 11 o'clock originally, but was postponed an hour so as Pedroza could make the weight. It'll be interesting to see that as the fight goes along, whether this will have any effect on his stamina. Well, I don't think either of them has actually landed what you could call a scoring punch. Abba's evasiveness is quite good so far, although he didn't dodge that straight left. But it brought a stinging right cross counter, and of course, as I said, the minute Abba looked like landing a punch, the crowd started to roar. Wasn't a bad punch, though, just the same. Pedroza was a bit lazy with his left lead. The bell for the end of round 1. Well, I'd share that round. I don't think either of them did enough to get the points. In fact, I think, Dennis, they both owe the referee a couple of points.
That's quite right, Alf, but it's very clear that Pedroza was weighing out Aber. He was very carefully watching him standing back, the real pro, watching the Papua New Guinean boy to see how good he is. When we interviewed Eusebio Pedroza early on, he said he had God on his side.
Well, it'll be interesting to see. Here it is. Round 2 of the world featherweight title between Johnny Aber from Port Moresby and Eusebio Pedroza from Panama, and I gave that round 10 points apiece. Bear in mind the decision will be given by the referee and 2 judges, as happens in most overseas world boxing contests. As I mentioned in our preamble before the fight, we're very late starting this fight. It didn't get underway until just a few seconds before 11 p.m. So if it goes the full distance, it'll be after midnight before we finish. Pedroza doing a little bit of fancy stuff there. I think he's trying to get Aber unsettled. He's dancing and prancing a la Muhammad Ali. But Aber, equal to the occasion then, made Pedroza look rather amateurish with that attempted left hand. So I think he wasted a lot of energy for nothing. That punch from Aber did not land. It was taken on Pedroza's glove, but the crowd roared just the same. Pedroza's a very compact fighter. He doesn't waste punches, holds his hands well together. Oh, beautiful left hook counter from Pedroza then as Aber went for the right hand, and Pedroza evaded it and countered well. Se están intercambiando golpes de izquierda, ambos contendores, tanto John Aber como Eusebio. Llega en estos momentos al pecho del campeón del mundo, pero con muy poca posibilidad. Aber on the back move there, evading all those attempted punches, and took that wild left swing on his right glove. Definitely not a point scorer from Pedroza. Although what points have been scored this round were going to Pedroza until Aber let loose with a right rip and 2 left hooks, and I think Aber's starting to pick up the points if he can continue in that vein for the remainder of this round. He's boxing well, Aber. He's evading those long left leads of Pedroza's, and that right under the heart that set Pedroza up to the 2 left hooks was a good punch. So was that left rip. Johnny Aber acquitting himself well in round 2 of the world featherweight title. And there's the bell for the end of that round, and on to the points of that round to Johnny Aber, 10 points to 9.
Prairies and mountains and cold and streams, those are things of a real cowboy's dream. Wandering and rambling just ain't what they seem. That's why I'm heading home. Rambling, been a rambling man, traveling across this big lonely land. As long as you travel, as long as you roam, you never forget the place you belong. Wandering and rambling just ain't what they seem. That's why I'm heading home. That's why I'm heading home.
Well, I believe, according to Norm Salter, who is his trainer, manager, and been his mentor for a long time, that Johnny Aber has never been fitter, and he says he can go 20 rounds. As I said, Pedroza had to take off a pound and made the weight limit the hard way, but nevertheless made it. The referee, Mr. Christodoulou, who is recognised as one of the top referees in the world, he's already refereed 2 world titles this year, and moves like what I class a professional third man. Good left again from Aber. I think Eusebio Pedroza suddenly realises that this kid he's in with is not a bad sort of a fighter. Abba's certainly not overawed by Pedroza's reputation. Abba, he won't want to try that too often, though. That wastes a lot of energy. And he left himself wide open then, but Pedroza not quick enough to capitalise. Those left leads of Pedroza's are being taken by Abba on the gloves. Pedroza pulled Abba in by the back of the neck there when he looked dangerous, which is a cute trick from a cunning old pro. He's a spray so far, Pedroza, with his left hand, although Abba similarly has been more effective when punching for the body than when going for the head. That short right wasn't a bad one, though, but a lot of the sting was taken out of it, and not for 1 minute do I think it disturbed Pedroza one iota. But nevertheless, it was a point scorer. They're starting to mix it a bit more now, and a big left hook as he came out of the clinch, and a right cross by Abba was a big punch. The best punch of the fight so far, thrown by the New Guinean. Tell you what, if this kid loses this fight, he'll go down fighting. He's putting on a great performance in round 3. Although he ran into the short end of a left hook that time. Pedroza cutting in close. Referee Christodoulou tells him to break. Abba on the back move, but quickly reverses the situation. Well, the points of this round, I'm going to give to Abba again, unless the champion, Pedroza, pulls something out of the hat. Oh, that right hand from Pedroza around the back of the kidneys. Didn't bring a caution from the referee, but it was certainly behind the scoring line. Abba underneath a left hook was a good move, and a short right to the body was a good counter. There's the bell for the end of round 3, and for my money, a 10-9 round to Johnny Abba.
Can't help agreeing with you there, Alf. Pedroza's certainly keeping his right in reserve, but he landed it a few times there. He's been jabbing to get the distance to try and hold back. You can hear the crowd chanting now.
I know you're up here connected with the fight at all. All they want to do then is tell you how good Johnny Abba is.
And virtually follow you down the street, telling you the story too.
But that was a great round. I've got Abba in front, 30 points to 28 at the end of 3 rounds. Eusebio Pedroza de Panamá, 126 libras en pelea de título mundial de la Asociación Mundial de Boxeo, en la categoría de las 126 libras, la categoría de las 120, ambos cuentan doble. If you can hear some continental sounding language in the background, it doesn't belong to my offsider here. It's a gentleman who's calling the fight in Spanish for all the people in Panama. And it's going there on television too, so as you can see, this is no tuppenny halfpenny promotion. Oh, look at them go now, and that staggered Pedroza. Beautiful left hook from Abba. Don't tell me this kid's going to cause the greatest sensation in the fight game this year or for many years. Despite the loyalty of his friends here, I don't think anyone outside of Port Moresby gave him a hope in hell, but he's going well at the moment. Oh, that was a low punch. Yes, keep them up, says the referee. That was a low blow then from Pedroza. He's a good referee, this fellow. He's right on the ball. Oh, left hook by Pedroza, but a bigger one back again from Abba. Well, everything Pedroza's tried, Abba's gone with him. He's been equal to the occasion, and he's mixing it with the fellow. He's outboxing him at times at range. And he's even learning a few little rough-up tricks in close. Pedroza. Hello, he's coming the alley shuffle. That's a sign that a fighter is trying to distract his opponent, and Abba didn't bother looking at his feet. He hit him right on the chin with a flushing right cross. Pedroza's inclined to spray those punches around and leaving himself open at the moment. And when he throws them to the body, they could go anywhere. He's been cautioned once for a low blow, and there's a couple that he hasn't been caught with either. Oh, good left hook and a right cross by Pedroza. The two best punches the champion has thrown so far. In fact, Pedroza shading Abba a little, despite the fact that he's put on the fancy stuff. When he has thrown punches, he has possibly landed the cleaner and better scoring ones so far in this round. Another good straight left. That propped Abba off balance, and he was astray with the right cross. Good boxing by Pedroza towards the end of the round, and I think he did enough to pick up the points in round 4.
Abba's defences seemed to drop a little bit towards the end of that round. What do you think, El?
Yes, I think he got a little bit too careless, Dennis. He got bemused, I think.
He's an early runner, and he's trying all he can in the early round.
I don't think so, because Norm Salter's boys don't normally fight like that. He generally tries to get them to pace themselves. This could be a very interesting round 5. It's Johnny Abba, Papua New Guinea, in the black and yellow trunks, fighting the red-trunked Panamanian holder of the WBA World Featherweight title, Eusebio Pedroza. They're in round 5, and they both weigh exactly 9 stone. That was a good left lead from Abba. Although I think Pedroza tried to kid Abba that it hurt a little more than it did. But Pedroza beckoning Abba to come in and have a go. Well, if I were Johnny Abba, I'd just keep my cool and keep boxing.
Pero pensamos que la línea boxística de uno y otro es muy distinta. John Abba de menores recursos técnicos que el campeón del mundo.
He's a very rangy featherweight, Pedroza. I was trying to think who he reminded me of, and I've just suddenly thought of it. A great Negro featherweight from America named Sandy Sadler, who took the title from Willie Pep.
El retador se encuentra un poco confundido por los movimientos del campeón del mundo de
Good left hand and a hard right under the heart from Pedroza. Two good punches. But Abba, even though he got caught with a hard right, came back with a big right under the heart of Pedroza. Pedroza claiming, and the referee getting between the fighters. They're in round 5 of a 15 3-minute round world featherweight title. Johnny Abba from New Guinea, not overawed so far by anything the champion has shown. Abba with his back to the ropes at the moment. He wants to get out of there. Good right uppercutting close by Abba. If I were Abba, I wouldn't be trying to close it up too much on Pedroza. I think Pedroza would like him to do this. That's Abba's caper, to get underneath Pedroza's long leads and counter to the body. It's a slugfest now in round 5, and Pedroza hit Abba with a staggering right cross. It was a big punch. Abba's in a spot of bother at the moment. Oh, big right cross from Pedroza again. Abba's in strife. He's lost his mouth guard, Abba. There's the bell on the ropes and paid the penalty.
He's looking much better than at the end of that round.
Yes, he was in a spot of bother at the end of that round, which I gave to Pedroza, and I've got them all square now. I gave that to Pedroza, 10 points 2-9, and I've got them 48 points apiece coming into the sixth.
Tendrá que hacer un gran esfuerzo.
Pedroza, too clever, pulled him in and nullified it.
Pedroza venció nada menos que
He's boxing well, Pedroza. He's making ABBA miss, and he's giving ABBA plenty in close.
nuevamente está atacando.
Oh, if ABBA starts to slug, I can see him going home early. This fellow will tear his head off. I think ABBA's committing fistic suicide at the moment, trying to slug it with this fellow. Oh, that was another low blow from Pedroza. Gee, he doesn't mind whacking him in round under the bread basket. This is ABBA's caper to stand off and box. That's better. Nice right cross counter over the left lead from Pedroza. Was ABBA's best punch for a round and a half. A good right cross by ABBA. As long as he doesn't try and knock him out with one punch, because he could go into dreamland if he does. Pedroza's pretty adept at grabbing with one hand and punching with the other too. He pulled ABBA in then, unbeknown to the referee, and held him with the left hand and hit him with the right. Left grip from Pedroza, taken on ABBA's elbow. ABBA clever then, away from Pedroza. Nearly landed a big left hook. Pedroza back on the bike again, boxing. Oh, that one was keep them up, says the referee. He's warned him twice. That right hand that brought a roar from the crowd from ABBA was nothing more than a mere pat, but at least it was a point scorer. They slowed down a little, both of them, as a matter of fact. The bell goes to the end of round 6. Again, I do to Pedroza, and I've got him 1 point in front, 58 to 57.
It's clear that Pedroza's got the length. It's quite obvious. He's a much more rangier fighter than ABBA.
ABBA's got to try and box him, but he must get underneath those long leads. Otherwise, he's going to be caught on the end of them. Anyway, as I say, at the end of round 6, which I gave to Pedroza 10-9, I've got Pedroza 58 points to Johnny ABBA's 57. Of course, we've got a long way to go over the 15 3-minute round journey for the world featherweight title. Of the world, defending his title against Papua New Guinean Johnny ABBA. ABBA, the shorter of the two, in the black trunks. Pedroza, rangy, with a very good left hand at long range. ABBA was getting under that punch early, but he's not doing so now. He's been dropped on the end of it a few times.
Sigue tratando de pegarle al campeón del mundo, porque una muy buena derecha. Una izquierda de buena bandera, vecina, una cabeza apenas del campeón. Vaya con su derecha.
Norm Solder, ABBA's trainer, telling him from the corner that he must lead and take the fight away from Pedroza, and this is exactly what he has to do. He's letting Pedroza get set. And I think Johnny ABBA's got the idea in his head, because he hurt Pedroza early, that if he lets him get set, they'll hit him and knock him out. Well, I think probably Mr. Pedroza has been hit by a lot of harder punches than Johnny ABBA is.
Lo tiene contra la soga, lanza su derecha en dos punches, nuevamente el vuelo por derecha, comienza a correr al cielo, no ha colocado ningún golpe de
Crowd roaring, but believe you me, those punches aren't landing. It's Pedroza boxing well with long left leads. It's is where ABBA got into trouble before. Oh, good short right by ABBA was a good punch. But oh, he got one back for his corner. One thing I'll say about this kid, he'll have a go. Oh, he got caught with a hard left hand again from Pedroza. ABBA trying to crowd Pedroza. Jabbed off balance again with Pedroza's long left. Comes back with a right to the chin and a hard right to the body by ABBA. And left rip by Pedroza was a big punch. Oh boy, this is a two-man war, this one. ABBA's taking everything Pedroza can give him and coming back for more. Right uppercut by Pedroza, left hook right cross from ABBA. Hard right to the head from Pedroza, but ABBA stands his ground. Boy, this is one hell of a fight now. Very cleverly out of the way then Pedroza punched after the bell. The end of round 7.
And what an incredible round, Al. Have you ever seen anything like that?
Fantastic round. Pedroza boxed very well early, but ABBA came back and gave him plenty. And I gave the points of that round to ABBA, and I've got them all square again.
Pedroza's been pulling in ABBA, but it's certainly clear that the crowd is just going mad. As soon as ABBA gets lands one on Pedroza, they just stand up in their seats. They're clawing at the wire outside.
I wonder,
Now they're chanting, ABBA.
I wonder if all those cautions that the referee has been giving Pedroza, whether or not he may be deducting points from him for those low blows.
Well, certainly the referee has been watching very closely.
The referee himself, who is a very, very efficient third man in the ring. Round 8 of the World Featherweight title contest from Port Moresby between defender Eusebio Pedroza and Port Moresby's Johnny ABBA. And round 7 was a ripper. They were like a couple of Kilkenny cats at each other.
No han llegado a Celestino los golpes en este asalto, apenas sobre la frente, una izquierda de Eusebio Pedroza. Y nuevamente la izquierda de Eusebio Pedroza tratando de hacer blanco en la...
ABBA in the black trunks, the shorter of the two. The champion Pedroza. Good right hand by ABBA over the top of Pedroza's rather lazy attempt at a left lead. I might add, this fight has been fought in the most ideal weather conditions. It's a glorious night in Port Moresby, not a bit humid, lovely cool breeze blowing, and not a cloud in the sky. Pedroza waiting for ABBA to come to him. They both quietened down a little after that hectic round 7, and well they might, because there are a lot of punches thrown and a lot of energy used. Johnny ABBA's acquitted himself well so far. He came through a punishing 6th round when he was really on the end of some heavy punishment, took it well, and came back and won the 7th round. And that's the hallmark of a fighter with more than a little bit of heart. Norm Solder again calling from the corner to Johnny ABBA to get inside Pedroza's long leads. And this, of course, is his caper. He's waking up to that looping Baldo type right to the body that Pedroza's been throwing too. I notice he gets his elbow down low when they go in close, and they're not getting home as often as they did early. That was a good long left lead from Pedroza. Picking up the points so far in this round. A much quieter round than the previous one, but nevertheless still an engrossing contest between two superbly fit athletes. The crowd starting to chant, hoping ABBA can finish on in the last minute of the round, as he did in the previous one. ABBA weaves away cleverly then from a left and a right and counters with his own right cross to the chin, which was a good solid punch. And that was a beauty. The bell for the end of round 8.
It's the way they're running. They seem to measure each other up after a close-in battle, and then they pick it up again. Pedroza's left leads is just something like magic to watch. He pulls in close and then just seems to jab. But Abba's holding back from it, and he's now looking much fitter than he did in round 6.
Yes, a very interesting round indeed, and one that I couldn't separate them in. I've got them all level, 77 points apiece. Johnny Abba fighting out of the red corner. As they're coming out for round 9, the defending champion is Eusebio Pedroza from Panama, Johnny Abba from New Guinea in the red corner, and they both weighed in at 9 stone today. This is certainly one of the biggest sporting ventures that's ever been promoted in Port Moresby, and the crowd reaction has been excellent. A few vacancies around the real dear inner ringside seats, but I tell you what, in the outer part, where the prices aren't cheap by wages up here,
Certainly, it's
the outer part's
about a quarter of a weekly wage. I think it's about 6 kina in the outer part, $7.50 Australian. That's about a quarter to a fifth of the weekly wage in Port Moresby.
It's absolutely full of Papua New Guineans.
Oh, they're just screaming at the moment, Al.
Back to the action in centre ring, and as we speak, a long left lead from Pedroza was a good points book scorer. We're in round 9 of the scheduled 15 3-minute round world featherweight title contest, and I've got them all level. It's been an engrossing fight. It's had everything: hard punching, clever boxing, some little bit of rough stuff in close, and a few low blows from Mr. Pedroza. But I think Johnny Abba's proving tonight that he's worthy of a crack at a world title, because a lot of fellows who fought Pedroza have not got past the 5th or the 6th round, and Abba's still there halfway through round 9. Very nearly a head clash in close there. Abba caught with a right uppercut. He gets trapped like this every time he lays in. He wants to move around more. Oh, he catches Pedroza with a hard right, and that stung the champ into action. He hits Abba with a right uppercut, gets caught with a right to the chin, and a hard one again from Pedroza. And they go at it punch for punch over in the red corner. And the referee had to move quickly to get out of the way. Pedroza, when he cuts loose, really looks class, and he's turning it on now and picking up the points. There's a kidney punch from Pedroza. But oh, he dropped into overdrive there for a moment, Pedroza, and he looked good. There's the bell for the end of... Here they come for round 10. Norm Solder, Abba's trainer, doesn't look the slightest bit perplexed at the moment. He looked extremely confident in his fighter's corner. He ventured the opinion to me in the dressing rooms before the fight that Abba could go 20 rounds if need be. And he certainly wouldn't blow a candle out at the moment, even though he's taken some heavy punches. Well, Pedroza putting on the posing act there, and Abba hit him with 2 left leads and a short right cross. He made him miss then. He's doing a bit of fancy stuff now, Pedroza. Abba showing all the coolness of a veteran. Those left leads from Pedroza did not land. They were taken on Abba's gloves. Pedroza sprays those punches around the back of the kidney region a bit too. Not a great deal of action in the first couple of minutes of this round. Pedroza, I think, pacing himself. He did have trouble making the weight. Grazing left hook in close by Abba. Hard right to the body by Abba. Nearly pushed Pedroza through the ropes. Pedroza tried to punch his way off the ropes and Abba wouldn't let him. Abba's held him there and hits him with a beautiful right cross and a left hook. I tell you what, this kid's got a heart as big as Farlap, Johnny Abba. He's taken plenty and he's coming back for more. And he won't let the champ off the ropes. Uppercutting close, good punch by Pedroza, good left hand from Pedroza. Abba back with a hard right cross. Abba was staggered then with a hard right from Pedroza near the end of round 10. Abba slips in the water in Pedroza's corner. They've been splashing a lot of water on him. Abba's in trouble as Pedroza pours it on, getting near the end of round 10. He's hitting Abba with everything at the moment. There's the bell for the end of round 10. And the referee in trouble there. And the referee should make them wipe that water up in Pedroza's corner.
Pedroza nominated round 7 there, Alf, but we're now coming up to around 11, but it seems as though he's easing ahead of Abba after that round. Abba just couldn't come back.
No, I've got him ahead 2 points now, 97 to 95. I gave him that round 10 points to 9. Abba pinned him on the ropes for a while, but Pedroza was able to come back and really had Johnny in a lot of trouble over in Pedroza's own corner.
Pedroza's trainer there calling out in English, closer, closer, so they must want to get in closer to the body, to Abba. They figure that's his weak point.
Yes, I think the referee should do something about this water in the corner. Oh, they're making them clean it up now, I think. And rightly so, too. He's a darn good referee, this fellow. He's doesn't get rattled. He knows what he wants. See, they're pouring water all over Pedroza, and it's dripping in the corner, and that's where Abba slipped. He won't let them start till they wipe that water up in Pedroza's corner. But he's having a go at Norm Salter to stop him wiping Abba's face down. Rightly so, too. He didn't want them to fight, but they weren't entitled to any more attention from their cornermen. They're in the round number 11 now, round 11, the world featherweight title from Port Moresby between Eusebio Pedroza and Johnny Abba. Abba on the end of a lot of punishment at the end of round 10, and Pedroza going for the kill, walks into a looping left hand from Abba. Abba fights backward, lefts and rights to Pedroza's body, but the champion weaves away from Abba's big punches and pushes him through the ropes. He pushed him through. He certainly didn't knock him through. Oh, Abba's hit his head on the apron of the ring. He's hit his head. The referee sent Pedroza to a neutral corner. He's back to, he's hit the back of his neck on the apron of the ring when he fell out. They'll have to stop the fight. They'll have to stop the fight, but Johnny Abba went right through the ropes and gave his head a sickening thump right on the apron of the ring. They've called for the doctor.
The referee telling people to cool it.
I don't know what the referee's going to... See, it's not a knockdown because he was pushed through the ropes. Now, if he can recover, the referee will, rightly so, let him fight on. But I don't think he's in any condition to fight on. Now, it could be very interesting.
Now. He's moving.
It could be interesting. He could theoretically disqualify Pedroza for bodily throwing Aber through the ropes, but I'd hate to do it in this...
Pedroza steaming in the corner.
Yes, I don't know.
The referee telling him to keep his hands on the ropes.
Yeah. My Jesus, strict referee, this fella. I don't think Aber can go on. He couldn't possibly go on. No, they'll have to stop the fight. The boy is in a lot of pain. He's had to stop the fight, and the winner on a technical knockout in round 11 is Eusebio Pedroza. Well, Pedroza very, very worried about Johnny Aber's condition. A very, very sad end to what has been a fantastic fight, a great promotion, and Johnny Aber, right up until about the 9th round, was still well in the fight. Pedroza was getting on top after then, slightly, but still in all, Aber was well and truly in it.
It seemed as though it was going to last the full 15 rounds there. There didn't seem any doubt that they were going to be able to knock each other out, but this was a total upset, wasn't it, Alf?
He's getting to his feet. Yes, Norm Solder's getting him up. Oh, thank goodness for that. The boy's okay. Well, that's a blessing. Believe you me, honestly, it was such a terrible, sickening thud that I was frightened he might have suffered some sort of serious injury. However, he's on his feet, and perhaps now it mightn't be such a bad time to go into the ring.
The two fighters are now...